What's up, everybody? See if some people come in here. I'm testing out my new camera, seeing how the clarity is, and just doing some testing here. And figured I'd talk a little bit about the whole streaming thing that's going on. So stay tuned if you want to know about a lot of stuff. I'm going to go over a few things that a lot of you might be very, very interested to know. So definitely stay tuned. Let's turn this up a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, just playing with some new things. Got a brand new camera. Got the Osmo Pocket 3, and I'm using that as my webcam right now. And I'm also using it. It's got a gimbal. It's pretty nice. Does 4K and 240, no, 120 and 1080p and 240 frames for some really cool slow motion stuff too. So I'm gonna do some cool stuff with this camera going forward. Let's see what we got here. I need to I want to change something. Let's see. Let's change this. Yeah. Save. So I know I haven't put out too much videos lately, and I haven't gone live lately. And I'm anxious to see how the quality of this stream comes out audio and video wise, because I plan on using this hardware in the future to do quite a few videos. That's what I bought it for. I do have another channel, if you guys don't know, that I'm doing food videos, cooking, barbecuing, different cooking, all kinds of different things on that channel. So if you guys are interested in food, definitely check out Central City Cooks. That is a whole new channel that I think we got like, I don't know, we got 16 videos or something up right now on that channel. Something like that. Anyway, we're just getting it, just getting the ball rolling on that, just getting that channel started right now. And I will be posting more up here and on the food channel as well if you're into food stuff. So I really wanted to talk about all the streaming apps dying. I mean, let's face it, you know, you got one that's been around a long time, Cinema HD. That one basically the developer stopped doing it. It looks like we have a LiveNet TV app, which is possibly no more now, uh, followed by possibly a lot more. And I'm going to talk more about the reasons why that is. Google has something to do with it. If you don't know, Google is still planning on doing a side loading block on Google certified devices, and that's happening later this year, starting not everywhere, only in a few areas, and rolling out pretty much everywhere in 2027. What does that mean to you? Well, that means that if the developer doesn't register with Microsoft, their name, basically their address, etc., information, even if they don't register the app to be on the Play Store, Google Play Services isn't going to allow the app to install. Now, whether there's going to be a simple opt-out feature, which has been talked about, we don't know yet. What we do know is that this isn't the first time this is happening, because obviously what's been going on with, uh, Amazon is, uh, was the first domino, and now we're seeing Google, Android following in the footsteps of that. What what's going to happen going forward in the future? Well, that's a good question. We're going to have to kind of wait and see 100%, but I can give you a lot of answers. So if you have an older box, it's going to continue to work okay. The problem is not a lot of app developers are going to continue to make apps in the underground third-party avenue of app making when it comes to Android because of this. This is why we're seeing some of these apps going by the wayside. I don't necessarily know it's because the apps are being attacked or targeted. I think some of these developers are deciding that, hey, you know what? It's a good time to get out while we can, and just go ahead and you know go from there. On the list, though, is what's happening is as well is devices that don't update. For instance, if you have an ONN streaming device or you have a Android box, an older Android box, that's going to continue to work and run, side-loaded apps as long as the app is still updated, able to update and supported. It's still going to work. So there might be an uptick in the want for non-certified Android devices. I see maybe in the short term there being you know, a lot of people wanting those type of devices. So, when if these official and Android devices end up getting cut off. But if you have a slightly older Android TV or older device that doesn't get an update, or the company decides not to push an update for it, then you'll be okay. There's a few other devices that run a kind of an Android TV OS, but it's not really Android TV OS, so it's not certified. You have boxes, quite a few boxes out there that run that, like the Formulars and the GT Media and a few others uh, around that you can pick up to go ahead and take care of your streaming needs, and they're still going to be able to run, a lot of apps that you won't be able to possibly run on some of these Google certified devices that are going to be out there. What does this mean for your phone? Well, if you buy a new phone, it's going to be up to date. It's going to be an up-to-date OS, and most of your APKs that you might want to run on your box and your phone, you probably won't be able to install them on your phone because you've got an up-to-date phone. This is going to create a demand for slightly older cell phones, slightly older flagship phones that are capable of installing apps that the new phones maybe can't install. The backlash could be drastic when it comes to this. So we could see a backtracking from Google. We're going to have to wait and see later this year when they roll it out in their test markets how things go. We may see them build in a opt-out option to be able to opt out of this. They may make it a little bit difficult to opt out. Who knows what the opt-out ability will be, whether you need your phone to be rooted or whether you need your phone to be whether you would need your phone to be unlocked, obviously. So, carrier locked phones may not have the ability for you to, uh, unlock the ability to sideload any app you want. I don't know 100%, but what I can tell you is let's go ahead and go over here. So let's go ahead and look at this. So beginning September 26th, 2026, Android will block users from installing apps made by unverified developers. Although Google says that sideloading isn't going anywhere, some critics are concerned this change will kill alternative app stores like F-Droid. So there's a lot of videos talking about this particular issue and what it could mean for the future. And I think this is, you know, I think this is the reason we're seeing some of these apps shutting down right now. Google is not completely removing the ability to sideload apps, but in 2026, they are implementing strict requirements that will make it significantly harder. Apps installed outside the Google Play Store will generally need to come from verified developers. What does that mean? That means the developer has to be basically signed up with their information with Google in order for an app to be able to be installed from a, you know, outside the Play Store, whether it's in the Play Store or not in the Play Store. So if it's an app that's not officially available in the Play Store, the developer still has to make himself known who he is so that they can go after him if he's doing malicious things. That's what they want to do. So to work on certified Android devices, here's the key, right? There are many Android devices that are not certified Android devices. The verification requirement starting September 2026. This isn't starting everywhere. It's in specific regions like Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand. It's not in all countries. It's just in some their test markets. Apps must be registered by a verified developer. They're doing this to fix bugs and problems before they push it, in regions like the United States and, etc., and China, whatever. Reduce flexibility. While not a total ban, this limits the installation of unverified third-party apps, reducing the open nature of Android. Security focus. Google states this is to combat malware by creating a chain of accountability for app creators. So, what do you all think? Do you think this is, do you think that this is for your protection, or do you think this is so Google can keep control, or maybe can, combat piracy? Uh, that's the real question, right? I mean, a lot of people are wondering. Now, what's the timeline here? Requirements to roll out in selected regions in September 2026. The global expansion is expected in 2027. They're not saying when in 2027. I think because they're going to have to see how their initial rollout goes. In summary, Android's moving to a more secure but less open model that mirrors iOS, making sideloading difficult rather than impossible. So starting late 2025, 2026, Android's new sideloading restrictions requiring apps to be from verified developers will apply to most certified Android devices running Google Play Store rather than all Android versions. Non-certified, generic, older, unupdated devices likely won't have these restrictions. So if you got a certified, unupdated device, it likely will not have these restrictions. That's very important to know, because if you buy a certified device and it doesn't get the new Android rollout update, if it stays on whatever, 13 or 12 or whatever version, or 14, whatever version of Android it stays on, and it doesn't boost up to that new version, because I think they're up to like version 16 now or something like that. From what I know, if your O&M box does not update, it will not likely be affected by the new stricter Google sideloading blocks, which are designed for later Android versions. These restrictions are aimed at enforcing verified developers' signatures for apps or rolling out in 2026, meaning older unupdated devices will likely retain their current, more open ability to install apps. Version dependency. The new security measures blockage of unverified apps are being rolled out with system updates. If you do not update your system, you are not receiving the updated Play Protect security rules. What is being blocked? Google is targeting apps from unverified developers. The new policy forces developers to verify their identity to prevent malicious app installations. What stays working? Existing apps that are already installed are generally safe. However, new side-loaded apps from unknown developers will encounter significantly more unverified warnings and in some cases be blocked entirely. Workarounds. While Google is tightening security, users can often circumvent Play Protect warnings by manually disabling it in the Google Play Store settings. Although this may not be a permanent solution as Google continuously refines its security methods. So, to make a long story short, we're going to have to wait and find out exactly what's going to happen with the with the apps on the Google's devices going forward in the future. So that being said, hopefully this information was a little bit educational for you. I kind of wanted to clear a few of those things up because a lot of people were asking me about that, and really the answers is like, if I got an ON inbox, am I still going to be able to use it the same way? Well, the answer is I really don't know because the last update that ONN tried to do caused a lot of problems. I did a whole video on it um, for them. They may not try to push updates. And here's the thing about Android devices. Android isn't the one that forces the update. The company that makes the device is the one that decides whether or not an update goes on that device or not. So if you have a phone from Samsung, or you have a box from ONN, or you have a NVIDIA Shield, that's NVIDIA's decision whether or not they update the device. It's ONN's decision whether they update the device. And it is Samsung's decision whether they actually update the device. It isn't Google's decision. Google can decide to do these updates, and a company can decide not to update to the new version just yet and wait and see what happens. This is something that may or may not happen with a lot of companies. A lot of companies may decide to play it cautious and keep their devices on the slightly older version of Android. I don't know that for sure. But I wouldn't be surprised because the last thing a company wants is to have a bunch of people saying, hey, my device isn't working. It won't install. It won't do this. It won't do that. So depending on how this initial rollout goes for Google, it may not actually roll out on a lot of devices, even in the test markets, because maybe some of these companies may decide they don't really want to push an update out. Now, if you want to know the devices you definitely don't want to buy, you don't want to buy a Google Pixel because that's made by Google and it's definitely going to get these updates. So anything made by them, yeah, you're going to be kind of stuck. Other devices, major devices, probably will get these updates. Maybe not as soon as the Google Pixel does, but I would definitely think like Samsung's S series, the 20 whatever newest one it's out is probably going to have this not long after it's out in 2027, not in 2026, because we're not in the test market here in the US. Let's see. Yeah. Pretty short live show. I'm going to go back and review this show. I want to review the quality. I want to review how it looked and how it came out. And I want to take a look at the what I can do to clean things up, whether it be audio or whether it be video, and try to make the my future live shows better and see how things go. I hope everybody's doing good tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next show. Catch y'all later.